Peace, peace, love, and light, family. This is High Priestess Sister Cola Soul. I hope you guys can hear me. This is my first time going live without the camera on. So I just want to welcome everyone who will be tapped into this live tonight. Happy Metaphysical Monday and happy Veterans Day to all of the veterans out there who have given their lives, their time and service to us here in America. And today's live is called Respecting the Power of Word and Intention. And the reason I'm not on camera tonight is because I'm actually under the weather. After I did the live on Friday night, I wasn't even feeling well when I did the live, but I've been doing a lot of purging, lots of spiritual work on myself, healing. And I think, in doing all of that, this head cold came about. So I was going back and forth with should I go live tonight or whatever, but I'm going live definitely. I'm here and I hope everyone is enjoying the start of their week. As you know, Monday is our day that we set the intention for the rest of the week. So I am going to start off with a intention today. The reason I delayed the shadow series, running from Are You Afraid of the Dark or Afraid of Your Shadow, excuse me, it's Are You Afraid? You Are Afraid of Your Own Shadow. I'm going to do that once I can actually be on camera. So you guys bear with me. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I did pull a few cards. These are just, word associations, just some things for us to think about for the live. And the first card is truth. And, that's self explanatory. We must deal with truth as we see it, as we know it, as it resonates within us. It's important to speak the truth and to know the truth, even for those who choose not to use it to advocate. Now, truth is subjective to certain people. I feel that, truth is, it stands on its own, but there's many people that have their own, truth is what's true to them based on their understanding. Okay. So the next card we pulled is, so I'm going to just say, take truth as it resonates for you, but just also be open to hearing truths and truths that you may not have heard, um, but can be weighed and measured by the vibration of how your spirit picks it up. There's truth to it. And you can also do the research or search in your soul yourself to get the answers. The next card I pulled was divine timing. And so for people, it's been a lot of delays and pushbacks for many, many of us, as we're pushing forward, trying to push forward or attempting to push forward in our businesses and um, maybe looking for new jobs, looking for new love, waiting on someone to return, or just waiting on, just things to happen in the way that you want them to happen in. You may not be as fast as you want it to be, but everything is happening in divine timing right now. There will be some breakthroughs for many people. And, be ready for your blessing because as we were taught in church, he may not come when you want him, but is always right on time. And that's the same thing with this divine timing message. The spirit doesn't always move how we want it to move, but it's always right on time. So let's just give thanks and give the spirit, allow spirit divine timing to work. Because there's certain times and there's certain things that we can't see to understand why the timing is as it is. I want to welcome everybody who's tapping in. I see people coming in, coming out. The numbers are not really accurate right now. So um, I can't see comments in Denim Design. So welcome into Denim Design as well. And again, I'll answer any comments. You guys can always come to Calligraphy TV and leave your comments and build with us here. Um, what else did I want to add to that? Yeah. Oh, yeah, they had an error message when I started tonight too. It said any comments left from Facebook is going to be under Facebook user and not the name of the person. So please forgive me. And I thank you for any and all comments and views. And you guys bear with me tonight because, like I said, I am under the weather and I'm on meds. My voice may be a little, stuffy. but I'm here in spirit and in truth, as this is a spirit led live. And I do have some messages and things for us to think about tonight as we begin to rest. You know, it's different time zones for different people, but here in Texas, it's getting to be pretty late. So many people may be resting, getting ready for work. So if you're tapped in, you know, your work day tomorrow, can you stop talking so fast? Anyway, I wish I could have some music going with for you guys, but I'm gonna just go ahead and just give the message as it is, and whoever this message is meant for, whoever's supposed to hear this will be tapped in. So there's a lot of spiritual purging going on too, and that's what I think that where I feel a little, you know, off balance with my immunity. So I've been really I feel better now. I'm feeling stronger day by day, but it's been since Friday, and I've been on my ginger and elderberry, and you know I suggest everybody, you know, get that immunity pumped up, probiotics and fresh juice. You know, trying to eat really mild right now. Well, I have been eating really mild, but anyway, so that's a part of that spiritual purging. A lot of people are in spiritual warfare, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I told you guys we will be going into spiritual cleansings and talking about spiritual cleansing and things like that. And while I get ready, I'm gonna go ahead and let me see. The power of our words and oaths. Yeah, this we're gonna be going into the power of our words and oaths during this spiritual warfare. I've noticed a lot of different things like and this over the years too, you know, when we leave from out of what we know as our comfort zone in religion and spirituality, and we began to feel like things aren't right in the spiritual practice or religion we may be in, and it's not necessarily that the religion isn't right, but it's not right for you or where you are in your evolution, or perhaps you're not sure if it's right or wrong. You're just kind of feeling like you need more, so you're going, you know, leaving out of church or out of whatever religion or spiritual path you may be following to try other things. And, you know, we're going to discuss a little bit of that and how we end up back, you know, going back to what we left from. And we have our own reasons for that. Many times it's because, you know, we have fear. Um, Sometimes we feel lost, you know, trying to, because spirituality doesn't necessarily have to be a thing where you're always connecting with other people. I mean, spirituality is a personal walk, you know. And I mean, with religion, yeah, you have your own walk as well, but you know, people fellowship, and I think that's what we're lacking in our conscious communities. Um, Even though we have, like, you know, if you're following the Islamic path, there's the mosque and you know other meetings and things that they have, and then we have, you know, Christians, they do the church thing, you do revivals and other church events. You know, out in Los Angeles, there's the Karass Unity Center, and they have meetings there for the spirituality that we have, African spirituality, and honestly, other things that go on in the community in esoteric metaphysical topics. There's places to fellowship. In Oakland, there's certain little groups and different things that um, we fellowship and talk about different things, but there's really not enough spaces like that that aren't religious based, that will allow people just to exchange conscious thoughts and ideas and to grow and build and almost set it up like, you know, something that's almost like a ceremony. You know, people, I don't know, it's something about us, you know, we like coming together, we like music, we like inspiration, that powerful reinforcement to learn, to be able to ask questions. And I know that it was really hard when I first got into the conscious community, leaving religion, just looking for people to really build with. Everybody had, like, you know, different people have their own agendas. You know, they may lecture, but it's because they're getting paid to lecture, or they may give a class or something, and all of that is great. But some people are, we're just left without knowing what's the next step? And then people are just telling you study, you know, and a lot of times that will cause people to go back to what is comfortable. They'll go back in and blend in with the sheep energy, or where they feel protected, or are supported, or a sense of community, or whatever the reason is. And so, we have learned to build communities here online, Clubhouse and different things such as YouTube, and different social media platforms that have allowed people to build communities. Some people more successful than others. Um, I'm really just getting started on the direction of where I'm going, even though I've been doing this a long time. I've had to, we've all had to change up how we do things because we now live in a new world. I just ask that you guys bear with me because I do have some important messages, or just some things to think about. Um, so what I'm saying is that, as we are coming into this new world and we are finding our tribes and building tribes, it's important. It is important to fellowship once you find people you vibrate with and resonate with. And it's not so much about leadership and followership of one person, but it's really literally about building the community. Even though it may be a person who ignited, or is the catalyst, or who lays the plans, or who may be the person that have the resources to provide a certain space. And in the future, I don't know how it's going to go. We're going to continue to operate in this virtual space, but I know that there's nothing like the human touch, the human spirit, um, physical, but that's not the only way to connect, because our spirits are strong and we can touch each other without physically touching. So I just wanted to put that out there, though. And anybody that's looking, serious people looking to collaborate and build with the new Soul Jet community, if you are on, some positive things, securing yourself and where you're wanting to go, um, willing to build, willing to grow, willing to learn, willing to share, then definitely, tap in with Sister Arcola Soul Jet. I'm truly, I love you guys. Really, I love my people. I love humanity, and I'm here as a genuine vessel for the spirit to make change on this planet, to make change in our communities, in our lives. No, I'm not perfect, and the battle and the struggle has been real. But I wanted to go into the people that's going through the spiritual warfare, just telling you to hold on. Don't allow yourself to give up, because so many people are in this struggle right now. The struggle with religion versus spirituality, with street life versus, I want to live better, just whatever that struggle is. Even who we are culturally, who we are, just getting that knowledge of self and things like that. People are in struggles constantly. Um, so one of the things is, though, it's important that we maintain our center, that we make sure, and I'm going to say prayer for a lack of a better word for people who may not relate to divine intentions, but it's important that we make sure not only that we're praying now and talking to God and asking for the universe for what it is we want. And when I say the universe, for those who may not know, or those that want to come in disharmony, I'm speaking to consciousness when I speak to the universe. The universe is not God, but God is consciousness. God is all knowing, So when I speak to the universe, we're speaking to that space where consciousness resides, in the space that we reside. Okay. So it's very important to not only speak out, but to turn in and meditate, and meditate on what your soul is leading you to do. Now, that's one of the other reasons that I'm speaking and moving this way, is because I was told to pull back a little bit, and I want you guys, I'm about to get into the bill now, and I'm hoping that this is reaching those that it needs to reach. I want you guys to give me one moment, and I'm gonna just, play just a little background music while I, go ahead and take a drink of water and we get situated, and hopefully others will come into the live. You guys are watching Metaphysical Monday with Sister Cola Souljet, High Priestess of the New Souljet Healing Community. Thank you guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on our bill. So yeah, I just wanted to get a little something going. It seems so quiet. Just break up a little bit of that. So I'm gonna start this one off with a Bible scripture. Okay. This is about keeping our word. And I'm gonna start off with the scripture. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God. Well, I'm sorry, let me start that again. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made, and without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was light, or life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in darkness, and that darkness has not overcome it. I started with this verse. Some of the wording is different from different texts that I've read. Not necessarily too different, but sometimes there's different wording, but depending on who wrote who's translating it. But in the beginning was the word. Now, when we look at word from a metaphysical standpoint, it's not just the word that's in the Bible, it's all words. Word brings about change. Words have frequencies and vibrations. And whether you're Christian or not Christian, or metaphysical or not metaphysical, or whatever you believe, it said, and the word was with God, and the word was God. So if you can hold a word to the level of God, and we understand that the word is God, then how important is it to keep our word? What is keeping our word? We talk all the time. We say so many things all the time to people, but how important is keeping our word? Because see, keeping our word, if we liken the word to God and say that the word is God and the word was God and with God, and not verbatim, but you get what I mean. The word is everything. And when I speak to mindfulness and manifesting and things of that nature, we speak to being mindful of what we speak and what we're creating with the power of our word. But what about keeping your word? You ever think about the words you say and what you're creating? And so when we keep our word, it's important because it builds a solid relationships. It builds solid relationships with people that can last a lifetime. It fosters trust and integrity, which are essential for success in business in all areas of life, in our personal relationships with people. In 1670, this is how far this even goes back, even beyond this, but there was a proverb written by J. Ray in The Merchant of Venice, and it stated, "An honest man's word is his bond." And then in hip hop, we use word as bond, and that indicates that the truth has been told. And this is, a phrase originating out of New York by the 5% Nation. Shout out to the 5% Nation in 1964. And this is something that we've used in hip hop, we've used in speech, and talking is caught on. But what does that really mean? Your word is your bond. Bonded to what? If the word is God, I mean, it's something to think about, right? And no one likes a liar. Yet so many people tell lies, and nobody on this planet can say they've never told a lie. That's a lie in itself. But when we find straightforward people, real ones, people respect that. You respect the person that can keep their word. You got those friends that'll be like, "Hey, let's meet up," or you set a date and time, and they fake on you, or they back out their word, or just don't have a word. They ask to borrow money, don't pay back, stuff like that. But people can respect the truth as long as the truth is not too raw. The pretty lie feels better to some people. It sounds better. But this live isn't about bashing liars. It's more about the importance of understanding the words, the oaths, commitments, contracts, initiations, rituals, baptisms, vows, and the like that we make and take to ourselves, that we make to God, to our community, to our spouses, our children, and extended family. What does your word really mean? What does your word mean to you? Even down to the fake compliments and statements we make on social media. How much of that do you really mean? You know how when people even say stuff like, "I'm gonna pray for you." How many people literally take the time to say those words? I kind of laughed at a meme that was going around. It said that when Black people say, "I'm gonna pray for you," that's the prayer right there. And I was like, wow. But facts, facts. Like how many people, and I'm not saying everybody, but it's like it becomes like a statement. Like, "Hey girl, how you doing? I'm gonna pray for you." But do we really do that? Just like when we ask people, "How are you doing?" And do you genuinely really want to know how they're doing? Like when you ask an American how you doing, we'll just say, "Oh, we're fine. It's great. It's good." But like my African friends say, when when Americans ask them how you doing, or when you ask them how they're doing, the African is going to give you the full account. My Nigerian friends, like, we give a full account of how we're doing, because if you really are concerned, it's like, "Oh, this is happening and this is happening," and Americans aren't interested in all of that. It's almost like we walk around just being phony, like it's just something you say. "How you doing?" "I'm blessed." "I'm blessed." Well, girl, you don't look blessed. You don't sound blessed, but people just say things, and um, why do you say the things you say, and do they hold value? Because to the recipient, when you tell somebody something, it means everything. Sometimes the words you say can be a lifesaver to someone that's in a dire need. When the word is followed up by an action, it can be, or not followed up by an action, it could be someone's lifesaver or the final nail in someone's coffin when a knife was already in their back. You got they got people hanging on to your word. You got children hanging on to your word, your lovers, and not to say that, oh, you shouldn't hang on to people's word. It's really a shame. People say, well, you shouldn't hang on to people's words. You can go there, but if you only have your word as humans, what do we have? If we don't have a word to each other, if we can't be solid, if people can't be trusted without betrayal, especially in our respective communities. When we talk about we're growing in spiritual communities or whatever, and even if you decide to date somebody in the spiritual community, I mean, you have a responsibility not to only that person, but to the community. Some of the things we do and how we mislead people, and it's a shame. But and we'll say, well, you can't trust anyone. Well, how can we build a community if we can't trust anyone? I'm not, I don't rock with that. I just, I'm still, but that doesn't mean other people are going to be honest, but that's where the third eye, that's where our intuition and discernment comes in. But I'm just hoping that within this live stream, that whoever it reaches, we could just really reflect on being mindful of what we say and our follow up. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. There's times when, I know I need to get on live, or I may have put flyers out, and whatever has happened, but I didn't keep my word. So what I do is I do makeup live streams, but still, that's no excuse. And we have to continue to, at least try our best to honor our word. It's all we have. And so, again, a kind word can save a soul, while a word of malice can create long life enemies. And tonight, I just wanted, like I said, wanted to reflect on the words we speak and to understand that words have power. And when we say words, speak words, written or spoken, you can create healing, confusion, chaos, or spells. Lies can put innocent people in prison, destroy families, and hinder collective progress. Many people just like to talk to hear themselves talk, and that's foolish people, foolish talk. But there's also a dark sided, mercurial word wizards out there too. And I wanted to look at that part. I said there is also dark sided, mercurial word wizards. They are crafty, manipulative, and they operate comfortably in their shadow. They're snakes, children of the python. Western society would refer to them as psychopaths or sociopaths. These people use words as bait and for prey. It is so commonly used by men when trying to seduce women for sex, time, energy. They all have these words and a cartoon throne to place you on, only to destroy and discard the girl or woman after zipping up his pants. There are also word witches, as well as the sex goddess who sells dreams for money and material gain to control and manipulate. Both characters, male or female, are of the shadow, and their words will return to them like a boomerang, looking to be fulfilled, or else. How many children have waited on absent deadbeat fathers or mothers who promised to pick them up for the weekend for fun quality time and never show up, as the child keep looking out the window and calling the parent on the phone as the phone goes unanswered? What about all of the sporting events, football games, basketball games, baseball games, and other special events that your children may be a part of that the parent just never shows up? Regardless, for whatever your reason is, a word was given with no follow through. Then we wonder why, our children don't mess with us, or they start to treat you a certain way, or they treating the step parent or the next person, giving them the honor that you should be receiving. What happens to the empty words and promises that we put into the universe? You know how Whitney say, "Where do broken hearts go?" I'm asking, what happens to the empty words and promises that we make? What do they become? What happened to all of the broken hearts, the people that you misled? Shallow words. Shallow words have power, even though, but they shallow words have power, because you put a high vibrational frequency on these words. You make them sound good. You have charisma to the words, but they really lead to nothing. But that doesn't mean that the decree, the energy that you've placed out, won't have a lasting effect, because you do need to honor the words that you put out into the universe, into the world, to what we tell people. I guess this is why the world needs scapegoats and undeserved grace. This is why thinking before we speak is so crucial, because every time we speak, we're creating truth and reality. The word, every word we speak is creating the reality, which comes from our thoughts. This is why you think before you speak, because your words are coming from your thoughts. Sometimes we just speak and talk on autopilot, not really even paying attention to what we're saying, or we just give a quick answer or response to, out of nervousness, or what is it? a program response, right? But this is not. Sometimes we just do things in the heat of the moment. We could be triggered, and indeed, I'm a thinker, and I can't even speak right. Excuse me, you guys. My words getting twisted. Under most circumstances, I think before I speak. In anger or haste or impulsive energy, we must be mindful of what lies behind our words. I'm gonna say that again. When we're speaking in anger, haste, or impulsive energy, because that's when I don't think before I speak. Sometimes I've allowed those emotions, like many of us do, to control the narrative, or to put energy out there that you may not have even meant to put out there. So, in anger or haste or impulsive energy, we must be mindful of what lies behind our words, because the words, sound, and power we put into the universe and in our world, to our lovers, to our community, has lasting effects and impacts on who we are. When we speak, pray, or make oaths in nature before a sacred nature altar, such as an ocean, it can have even more serious consequences. When I'm saying that, when you speak, pray, or make oaths in nature, in the forest, before a beach, those I call sacred altars, sacred nature altars. The ocean, the beach. When nature is the witness, it has more serious consequences. Because I learned in E5 that we lie to people all the time without detection, many times. But when nature is the witness, how can you lie? You cannot lie to God. That's like lying to yourself. What about the contracts we make to God, our religion, in which we are born in, versus that of our own choosing? How did you enter your religion? How did you leave it? How will you leave it? And how will you endure it if you choose to stay? How will you maintain it if you feel there's more to learn? Or do we just go on breaking oaths? I spoke to This is important because I've been looking at a lot of people just going through this struggle as we are looking for ourselves, finding ourselves. People, I've been on my journey a while, but that doesn't mean that, sometimes we question our actions. But I'm pretty, I know what my journey is, but there's so many people getting on the journey, different journeys in their lives. Journeys change also. Sometimes you have to go on another path. Um, but pretty much the destination of where I'm going, I'm still on that journey. So, and sometimes, I've studied many different religions and things of that nature. Um, I was gonna say something else, but I'm gonna wait. We spoke about, I said I would speak about spiritual cleansings, and I touched a little bit on that on a couple of lives ago. But tonight, I am gonna speak on certain things that I want to talk about: Ru and Hasa, um, the power of Ru, RUE, and Hasa, HYSSOP, very high vibrational roots. And I'm gonna be reading a little piece out of um, my spiritual cleansing, a handbook of psychic protection by Draja Mikaharik. And he does subscribe to, he looks at spiritual cleansings from traditional, and I guess you could say non-traditional. Well, I would say traditional, but it's different paths, um, so that we get an understanding. I deal with spirituality, not so much as religion. So when I speak to you guys about things, I'm speaking on things from an innate level. I've learned and studied and practiced, because I'm not going to tell you guys anything that I haven't done myself. And if I haven't done it myself and it's just a theory, I'm going to let you know that too. But I've been doing this work 25 years. I always say 20 plus years because, it ages me. And I have had breaks in my practice where sometime I backed up for different reasons. But I'm adept at doing spiritual cleansings. Um, and you should know and understand the messages that I share, being that they're spiritual, you can still apply them. And that's what I mean by he grabs from different traditions. You can still apply them along with religion, because it's important for all of us to cleanse. And it's not the same as just cleaning your body or standing in the shower. It's about really like cleaning your body first, getting all of the daily dirt off of you, and then you take a cleansing bath that you prepare your spirit for. But I want to go ahead and these this is what I actually was led to speak on tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead into two different routes, and this message is definitely for somebody, people that's quick to jump and be impulsive, because I also want to speak to this real fast too. People will jump, out of a religion because they may not like the laws or the rules or the religiousness of it. Something don't feel right, but sometimes people just leave without, really examining why they're leaving the church, or why they're leaving Islam, or why they're leaving uh, if they're into Wicca or whatever. Not my path, but there's people that study Wicca, and there's people who practice all kinds of things, Ifa and voodoo and Buddhism and all types of different things, and they may have had the origins of a Christian background, or the other said religions may have been where you started. But before leaving, like I always say, I used to talk with such anger and malice, and sometimes I'm triggered to want to go there. But no, when I left the church, and there's many people who do that. They'll sit online, and I won't do that. I stopped that many years ago, because they'll sit there and bash and talk about Jesus and drag the church and all of that. And I'll say things, but I say it in a way where I am speaking truth, and I'm not doing it in a way of malice or to just to get under people's skin. I have to get past that. That comes with maturity, because you were once in that place, and we need to be sensitive to what another person may be feeling and where they are, because you remember where you were on that path. And bashing another person's religion or school of thought without coming with like just talking facts and giving them, you know, uh, some sound teaching, sound uh, information on where you're coming from, so that they can understand. Sometimes you got to go into their text and teach. But as teachers and healers and people that are influencing others, we need to be more open minded, open hearted, and still exercise kindness. That doesn't mean to shut up or not be truthful, because everybody's not for you, right? And you're not for everybody, and that's okay. This is why we're putting out our truth, so we can get into the right tribes, so we can involved in the right collective. And sometime after your learning and journey ends with certain people and collectives, we lovingly leave. I just don't like the leaving in haste after we've made oaths and commitments. But sometimes, because of how we are as humans, and no one's perfect, and people are so fixed on how they think and feel and what's right and what's wrong, that we sometimes have to leave in a way that could be hasty, or not in a way that shows respect for each other. But so I want to talk from both perspectives. I'm looking at first the hyssop. Hyssop is a cleansing herb of Judaism. It is mentioned in the Bible, and it's mentioned in Psalms 51:7. Hyssop forms a part of Jewish ritual, and you can see that in Exodus 12:22. It is used similarly in Christian practices. You can also see John 19:29 and Hebrews 9:19. They all speak of hyssop, and that's why I said it's high vibrational. But we also use it in other forms of spirituality, and, well, I mean, cleansing in general. But it could, things have dual uses. Um, it could be used in a mikvah tub. I'm not sure what that is. That may be something Jewish, I believe, and it's spelled Mickva for those that are interested in doing the research. But it could be used by any sincere Jewish person. So look, I've named Judaism, Christianity, and I'm speaking from that space. And whoever wants to, this is a spiritual cleanse, so it's okay for Christians, or for Jewish people, or for whomever have the desire to cleanse in that way spiritually. You can use the hyssop. But I want to continue to read because there's important messages in what I'm saying, and it's for somebody, for a few people. For Christians, it has both a cleansing and purifying effect. Then it shows you how to mix the bath. And I'm going to tell you guys how to mix it. For this particular bath of using Hasa, mix a cup of tea and a half cup of water. And now when they say tea, I'm not going to give the directions, no, because this is meant for skilled practitioners. Because when I'm saying tea, you should already know what the tea is, right? But it's basically making tea out the herbs. If anybody is interested in these baths, because I have to be mindful of what my oats are. And so I'm not going to give the recipes online. Okay. If anybody's interested, hit me up in my inbox. Um, and we can discuss some of the baths. Okay. Um, then there's rue. Like hasab, rue is not a culinary herb, but it is of sufficient importance to include here. Rue is the herb of grace in the Christian religion. A bath made of rue should be effective in eliminating religious confusion. And this is why I chose to read this to you guys. This rue is important and effective in eliminating religious confusion. It helps to establish an individual on the proper path in Christian religion. This bath should not be overlooked either, as many young people today are attempting to give up their heritage. Now, this is in the words of the writer, okay, not my words. He's speaking to people giving up their heritage. Now, these are more of like talking about religion and rights and traditions that we are born into, okay? So we are born into a particular religion for a particular reason. Most people, most lay people in any religious order are unaware of the philosophy or ritual of the family religion. Now, that's interesting. Most common people, most everyday people in any religious order are unaware of the philosophy or ritual of the family religion. And that is important because, again, like I said, before even leaving a religion or faith or practice, you should have even an understanding of what you're a part of and why you're leaving. This is how we stop from jumping from place to place and place and never uh, finding, contentment in our spiritual path and literally growing in it. But the way you grow in it is through spiritual application. Okay. So just speaking to a bath that you could use, or this is rue, and the other one was hasab, but rue is specifically in this case is used for religious confusion. And guys, please forgive me. Bear with me. Until the symbolism of religion is understood, we cannot really leave what is our heritage because it comes back to get us. And we know that that's to be true. Like many times you'll have the heavy hitters coming at you, uh, making you feel guilty. You'll have times where you're not solid in a new faith that you're jumping in or the new practice or belief. So you end up, you're supposed to be, you like, oh, I'm all about Oshun, but you like, thank you, Jesus. Jesus help me, or whatever it is. Or you are leaving from another religion and you may find yourself going back to whatever the original or origin of your family heritage or what you grew up with. Now that doesn't happen often for everybody, but it does happen frequently in people who are not sound in either practice, what they're leaving, having a sound information, sound knowledge of what they're leaving and what they're entering into, as some people just operate on autopilot. So I'm going to go back over this because this is so powerful. Okay. So when we're talking about rue, again, rue is called the herb of grace in the Christian religion. They call it the herb of grace. Okay. And this is a bath made of rue should be effective in eliminating religious confusion. It helps to establish an individual on the proper path of the Christian religion. This bath should not be overlooked, as many young people today are attempting to give up their heritage. We're born into a particular religion for a particular reason. Most lay people in any religious orders are unaware of the philosophy or ritual of the family religion. And until the symbolism of religion is understood or of that religion is understood, we cannot really leave what is our heritage, or it will come back to get us. This bath can be used to enlighten one as the direction needs to be pursued. This bath again can be used to enlighten one as the direction that needs to be pursued. And then again, the directions are there. And I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the next message. Now we're talking about Ru and Hasop. Now, the blending of Ru and Hasop together. This is for the opposite. This was for when people are still, the rule by itself, what I just read on is about when you're having confusion about your own religion. It helps to eliminate that and give you more clarity, to have more enlightenment on the path you're on, rather you decide to leave or stay. It speaks to having a clear understanding of the why, the when, and how, and all of that. Why? Um, so Ru and Hasop together, baths of either herb are not mixed, are particularly recommended to those who considered leaving the religion in which they're in. So you can use Ru or Hasop, not mixed together, if you are considering leaving a religion that you are born in, or you have left a religion that you are born in. When one chooses to be born in a particular religion for a reason, to leave that religion before one has learned the lessons of it is to remain. Hold on, let me go back. One chooses to be born in a particular religion for a reason. To leave that religion before one has learned the lessons of it, or to remain after the lessons have been mastered, is foolish. So either way is foolish. To leave before you're ready without knowledge, or to stay beyond the fact that it's been mastered, beyond the point of mastery, is foolish. If one is ready to leave a religious practice, he should depart cleanly without any recriminations. He should not hold ill feelings or bitterness towards the religion. And we know that in the conscious community, especially, that is not the case. Many of us leave Christianity with hella bitter feelings. And many people would not be silent about it. I know when I left, I was not. I matured on this path to know that, that's not the way to go. That's not the way to go. I was told to leave quietly from a path because there's people still on a path, people still learning, people still growing. So we don't want to leave anything in haste. When you've made a decree, so you made a verbal decree in agreement to whatever this religion or school of thought or study that you're in, organization, Masonic stuff, whatever it is that you are a part of, a sorority, a fraternity, whatever that is, when there's oaths, words, um, vows, your marriages, when you decide to marry people, they talking about till death do us part. And you wondering why you got all these issues that you still carrying around. You thought you was with a God and left with a demon. You know what I mean? You got so many things that we leave unfinished, so many things, words left unspoken, that didn't have the intention or follow up. A simple I apologize. Sometimes we need to apologize for the wrong we do in the way we cross up our words and intentions, especially when we're talking about the condition and the destiny of our soul journey. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this part off. If one is ready to leave a religious practice, he should depart cleanly, without any recriminations. He should not hold ill feelings or bitterness toward the religion or those who preach or practice it. Until this state of consciousness is attained, something is yet to be learned from the religion. So I mean, if you still mad, or you can't leave in a state of peace, in peace with that, then it must still be something there for you to learn. There's still something there. Um, or if you haven't done the science on it, not necessarily. I don't totally agree with, that's the only reason you may leave in haste, but you still should make peace for what it's been to you, if it's been anything to you. And I know we all should have gotten something from any religion we study. Um, there's goodness in all of these practices, because it's about making one's life better. It's about how to serve humanity better and how to serve God better. So we may not agree with all of the rules and politics and the way people may represent spirituality or religion for you, and what's right for you and what's right on your inside and what resonates with you. But it's still a word. Proverbs itself is a book that we can damn near live off of just reading Proverbs. We can base our life on it, just on integrity, if you want to be real about it. But then there's so many other things. There's the 42 laws of Ma'at. There is the Metanatter. There is the Quran. There's so many, uh, you know, scriptures and information and wisdom and knowledge that we can apply to our life. Nothing is all bad. Okay. So going back to not holding the ill feelings or bitterness towards the religion are those who preach or practice it. We just let people do what they do. Even once we find our level of truth that we need to be on, you know, you say goodbye and allow people to do what they do. We don't have to bash, bully, or disrespect other people on their path. And that's something that I definitely I'm learning to do better, and wanting to learn to do even more better is you speak our truth in a way that's more palatable. This is the way you're gonna, you know, you attract people to your light. You're gonna miss a whole generation or a whole group of people that you may have could have touched if you just have a little bit more understanding and, you know, a different tone sometime with people, because we could be real harsh in our judgments. So until this state of consciousness is attained, something is yet to be learned from the religion. And if one has not finished with the religious practice, either Ru or Hassop baths will give confidence while remaining with it. Okay, so Ru and Hassop is extremely powerful. You guys can do your own study on that. And I did use those religions as examples because they're here in the book. I told you he goes with he looks at the whole deal, every religion, you know, that is valid, uh, you know, as far as like that deal with spiritual cleansings and just the effects of it. This is years and years of study. This is actually a really old book that was remade or not remade, but repackaged like with a new cover. The original book was, you know, was totally it was a hardback and the cover was different. I know you guys can't see the cover, but maybe I'll show it again on my next live or something. Now I'm gonna go back again. So it's saying that you can use the Ruach Hasab and it will give you the confidence while remaining with the religion, while you're trying to decide what's for you, what isn't for you. Because there's no need in lying or faking the phone or making false decrees to the spirit. You're not going to do anything but get yourself caught up with your words. Okay. And I'm saying you and you and you. I don't mean you as the person just listening. I'm speaking to the proverbial you of all who's listening. Okay. Take it as it applies. Conversion is always a serious question, and those who wish to convert should spend a great deal of time in self examination before they do so. These baths will assist those whose path is within a particular religious framework. When a person wishes to leave the religion of his childhood, he often thinks he is more free of it than he really is. We see the strength of religious belief and training when the individual is under tremendous stress. Excuse me. We see the strength of religious belief and training when the individual is under tremendous stress. It's kind of the way I feel when like a person will say, "Well, I don't believe in a white Jesus, I believe in a black Jesus," or you know, you'll say that you're on a certain path, and then you'll go back to whatever it is. Like soon as disaster strikes, you say, "I'm a follower. I'm now a follower of." Um, Allah or Ifa, and I follow Olodumare as my God. Um, but then, you know, when disaster strikes, you'll go right back to, you know, what you once believed. You know, you don't have the confidence or the strength to stand in what you're learning. That's why spiritual application is so important, though. This is why we just going in circles of confusion, because if you don't apply what you learned and what you know, then how can you know what's right and wrong for you, right? And this is how we lose interest and we get too caught up in, as the Christians say, in the world. We get too caught up in the world or off our spiritual path and journey. Okay. So when illness strikes, people return to God. That's how he referred to it. They return to God. I would say return to the religion of the origin. When a convert experiences the guilt of grief of death in the family, the early religious training comes back. It is not uncommon for a Southern Baptist to become a Buddhist while living in sophisticated New York City, only to say she's safe in the arms of Jesus when his wife dies unexpectedly. We seldom know how unfree we are. That's deep. We seldom know how unfree we are because those are early decrees that's made, baptisms, christenings, all of these different things. Uh, and I'm speaking from a Christian perspective because that's the background I've come from. But I know there's also ceremonies, rituals in, Islam and in um, Buddhism. I mean, in all Ifa, we take our different, even people who are into Wicca and things like that. We make these decrees. Um, and you're going to be held to those decrees. And that's the reason why it's good to just not leave with that malice in your heart. And I know many people, some may not agree with me, and that's fine, but there is power in your word. And the words we speak, whether it's to God or to each other or in nature, they have effects. And we need to, if you can't now, nobody is perfect. So yeah, you may make a decree without full understanding of it, and in that you still need to measure your word and talk to God again, or go back to what you did, go back to the ritual and be like, okay, this is what my understanding when I got into this is the level of understanding that I had. But through spiritual practice and application, I know that this isn't for me. Through experience, I know this isn't for me. I'm not growing, I'm not getting what I need, there's something missing, whatever it is. And then you can leave in a more peaceful place. If not, this is why people will get online and they have these big tarot channels and stuff, and the next thing you know, they're denouncing tarot, they're denouncing this, and oh, I seen a demon come out the cards, and oh, Jesus, you ain't see none of that. That ain't nothing but your fear and just some foolishness, and if you seeing demons, I got something for that too, because most of that comes from mental instability and imbalances and negative energy, where you start to create these entities to and onto yourself, and they become very real. And to get rid of those things is also deals with spiritual cleansing. I don't do spells. I'm not a witch, and I don't do spell work. I do ritual work around protection. I'm a fierce ritual protection person. And I don't like to get into spiritual fights, but I definitely know how to protect myself if one was to come about, and I know how to keep my energy cool, so I don't even deal with that. Like I told y'all before, I don't even deal with bad dreams. And if I'm having a dream that's unsavory, it's something that I need to see that I'm not paying attention to in my consciousness. So the subconsciousness is feeding it to us through sleep. Our ancestors, through our blood and DNA, we get the visions in our sleep. Or there's a rat around you that you need to be aware of. There's something, or there's a way, I'm sorry, that was the same thing. Or you're not living right. There may be certain things you're doing in your life that's not fit for your spirit, that's not fit for your life. And these are the effects and things that it's causing. Okay. And we can't create entities. I don't want to go into too deep into my church experiences, but yeah, you give power, enough people give power to anything, it becomes real. So I believe that there. Um, but I think that's deep. We seldom know how unfree we are when we leave a religion. We think we're free. I want to read that again, you guys, if you don't mind, bear with me. When a person wishes to leave a religion of his childhood, he often thinks he is more free of it than he really is. We see the strength of religious belief and training when the individual, I'm gonna say indoctrination. I'm gonna add that, when an individual is under tremendous stress, or when illness strikes. Anytime your faith is being challenged, when it's not all like, oh, I'm a goddess, and you enjoying all of this stuff and wrapped up in your garbs and walking around with aunts and loving like this and peace and beyond that, and you still haven't had no real spiritual warfare. You just kind of, pretending and playing around. But then soon as your spiritual warfare come upon you, you go to what you know or what you believe that's going to help you. So some people, they bounce around wanting this level of freedom, but they're really not free. This is why they take a deity and paint it from white to black and black to white. It's not even about the deity. It's about what's inside of you. It's about what you're being literally pulled to, what a soul GPS is literally leading you to. What is being said to you? What are you feeling? Is your religion helping you? And if it is, stick with it. But if you want a little more and you want to go deeper and you don't feel filled, and you know that you need to feel more connected, because it's not about just being a part of a religion, but for you, it's a part of an experience and you're not getting that experience from a religion, then yes, it's time to really get sound in whatever it is. Because see, this is what I learned. It all becomes a religion. It all becomes a religion. Leaving the church or leaving the mosque doesn't mean that you have to stop doing the spiritual work. You still got to do it. And sometimes even more so because there's nobody there leading and guiding you to do it. You get what I'm saying? There's still practices like the laws of my eye that I do observe. I can't sit here and say, oh, I follow all the laws of my eye every time, every day. No, but it gives you a blueprint. It gives you a framework to look at and to first look at what the laws are, just like the 10 Commandments. And the 10 Commandments are in the laws of my of the laws of my eye. Excuse my voice. But the laws of mind is like a checklist. It gives you the I will not, and then you come back later that night and you read the checklist again and say, I did not. It's a way of keeping yourself in check. Like I said, I do understand that for many of us, especially babies on the journey, uh, the fellowship is important. This is why, the church is such uh, a popular place, or a place where people feel comfortable even if it's not all the way right with them, is because you feel like you feel good. They have music going and the scriptures going, and there's people in there that you can relate to, and you dancing and feeling good. And when we get into spirituality, unless you're already a part of a certain path in spirituality and you already well connected with drum circles and things of that sort, people still looking for their service. And this is what I keep telling people. People need those kind of things. It wasn't important when I came up in the conscious community. It's like everybody, just long as I can sell the book, long as I can get the money. Nobody wasn't really worrying about the mindsets of our people and how they were really feeling lost and confused. And you just giving them a stack of damn books and saying, read this, and that's supposed to, do it. It's sad, or you have a niche group where only this religion can go in this mosque or in this temple or in this church. You're not a part of what we are part of. So then again, the adept is not getting what they need because the so-called master is not teaching it, not giving it, not just teaching it, because they'll teach you for a fee. They may even feed you, but it's no real community being built. There's people that you'll go and hang in the community, but they don't even talk to you, and even going to churches. I don't really know how it is in other practices, but I'm sure it's similar. People are so cliquey. There's they attract these, they go to these run out, go to these big gigantic mega churches. The pastor don't even know you. You don't even know the people in the church. You're just there because it's a big church, or you may like the way the man preach or whatever, but or the woman preach or whatever. But you don't even know the people you go to church with. It's so big you can't even, keep up with it. So but fellowship, I just wanted to just, not to rant on that, but to just think about it. Those people who are building communities and are in leadership, just how important it is to have that order and doing our spiritual practices religiously. That's important. That's what makes it where it becomes almost a religion. There's certain things as a spiritualist that I have to do every day, rain or shine. Even when I was being kept up all night dealing with folks' energy, I still had to find time to do what I call temple maintenance every morning. I have to change my water. I have to light my candles. I honor my ancestors. I set my daily intention. I clean my house and I get to work. Those are things that I have to do. I ask God what, even times when people may be sleeping. I wake up at 3 and 4 in the morning, just asking for direction. Asking, is my messages too hard, or what is it that I need to do to continue and foster a strong community? You know, um, what are things that I can do to improve, to not come off like, I'm on some superior level, just to be on a base level with the people, just to show love, to have endurance to keep going when people not listening. When I'm sitting here talking for 2 hours for one person to listen for 5 minutes or whatever. But that one person, they getting the best 5 minutes of their life on the spiritual level. I'm gonna say that because I'm definitely gonna give it my all. Okay. So I hope that what I'm speaking on tonight can reach and touch some people. And if you did miss the live, please rewind it, share it, hit like, subscribe if you are resonating with the message. Um, my message isn't for everyone. And we're going to continue to build on the shadow series. Um, I took a break in that because sometimes that gets, it's a lot because it's we're talking about the hidden light. We're talking about darkness. People, some people shy away from that, yet it's in all of us. So tonight I wanted to speak of the words we say, the promises we make, the decrees we make, the oaths, the vows. Be mindful of your words. And I'm gonna say that just even on a day-to-day level with our boyfriends, girlfriends, our children, our husbands, our wives. Stop lying to people, man. Be honest. I don't even like the lying about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny stuff. I don't like that because even that could be very devastating and traumatic to children when they find out things are a lie. And you're talking about fantasy and oh yeah, you know why I don't like that as Christmas is coming up and all of that? Because somebody, the way I was taught by the elders, when you're talking about Santa Claus is real and forcing your kids to sit on this man's lap and stuff and all this craziness. There was many little black children and children of other races who grew up in poverty, but namely black children. And many of them and people who live in poverty in general didn't get the things they asked for. It already had a negative connotation to it because you're telling the children to be good all year because this character Santa Claus, who acts almost as they give him the same qualities as Jesus, talking about he know everything. He know when you sleeping. He know when you awake. He coming to town. He doing all these great things and fitting down chimneys and all this stuff. And you know that you a good child because just because you're born in poverty or you live in a projects or live in a hood or whatever it is, that don't make us bad people. That don't make you a bad, evil, bad person. That don't mean your house dirty. It don't mean none of that stuff. That's all craziness and stereotypes. So what about the child that lives in poverty? Like how Tupac talked about when they didn't even have food and they praying on Thanksgiving or Christmas and they sitting there pretending to have food. What happens to those children that know they prayed and they spoke to Santa and all this stuff and they get nothing? What are you saying to the black child? What are you saying to the child in poverty? What are you saying to them when they asked and they did all of the right things to the best that they can do because nobody's perfect and they don't get nothing that they ask for, if anything? It's just something to think about because everybody's not in a blessed situation. Everybody's not going to have a tree with presents flowing from up under it and all of that stuff. And that's really one of the reasons Christmas just gets on my nerve when it comes down to all of the pressure that parents have to put on themselves to buy gifts and, all of this comparison and children going back to school and they may have gotten one gift and another child got 15, but we still serving under the same power when you're talking about this Santa and all of the things attached with that when it's I think what is the not I think, they say it's the birth of Christ, Christmas. But then there's all of these other things. That's a ritual too. So when we even talking about those things, what we're partaking in, you may want to look at the origin of some of these holidays. You talk about Halloween and how that's the Satan holiday. They got some of these holidays that we celebrate or our we were taught to celebrate that make Halloween look like cartoon land when you understand the origin. And I'm gonna close on this. Regardless of what it is, I talked about words and decrees tonight, vows, oaths, and the things that we say, and even the celebration of these ritual days. You know, be mindful of the things you say and you put yourself in, and take your time to do the homework. And like I said, check out some of these origins of the things we celebrate. They even in the portion that I read in this bill tonight, from the Spiritual Cleansing Handbook of Psychic Protection by Draja Miharic. Even in that, it said most people get into, or we're born into religions that we really don't know nothing about. Not that we don't know about the religion, but we don't know the family history or the origin of how we even got into the religion, how we were even indoctrinated in it. How most Black people know we inherited Christianity as it is, and I say as it is because Christianity has been altered from how it first started. But that was passed on us as a legacy in slavery, and not just here in America, but globally. All through the Caribbean and stuff, it was heavily pushed, heavily pushed. So that's what we know, but a lot of people don't know the origins, so they have their own, timeline on things, but the knowledge is out there. We're in the information age now, and we're in the age of Aquarius, and there's no reason for us to be scared of information. And there's no reason for us to blindly be making decrees, vows, oaths, initiations, and saying words to people, marriages that we will have no follow up to, just empty promises and um, uninformed decisions that we make. And I'm going to leave it on that note. Just again, for anybody just tapping in, this is Metaphysical Monday with High Priestess Sister Kola Soldier. And yes, I'm only on the voice tonight because I am a little under the weather, as I said, but I'm about to take my meds and things. Now, we've only been, what, an hour and 12 minutes in? I'm still trying to decide if I want to do a black box question since we're not on a camera. I think I am going to do a question, and then I'm going to end it on that. And so, shaking the box. I can't see the shake, but I'm shaking the box, shaking the black box. I'm going to pull out a question. If it's too complicated, I'm going to wait till next Metaphysical Monday, okay? See what we got here. I'm going to pick another one, but I'll wait to answer like the harder question. So the question I got is the black cat really bad luck? One crossed in front of my car and I'm scared to leave my house. Help, Rakisha. Not laughing at you, Rakisha. Is the black cat really bad luck? One crossed in front of my car and I'm scared to leave my house. Help, Rakisha. Rakisha, the black cat is not bad luck. It's not really bad luck. No, it's not. One crossed my path too several times, and I'm doing just fine. I'm blessed. That comes from, it comes from religious dogma, ignorance, and the perpetuation of witchcraft during, the days of like the Salem witch trials, and even before then, back to Europe. They always also liken anything black to something evil. So that also goes and ties into racism. So I'm definitely not going to hate on the black cat ever, because everything black is likened to evil. And I told you guys I would have tapped on some of the Halloween stuff, but some people like to stay ignorant. They don't, when I brought up the Halloween stuff, everybody was crickets. But I don't know why you wouldn't want to learn and know. It's all there, and it's powerful information. But all of those symbols, when the Catholic Church was, they were going through their wars and everything and trying to convert the pagans, and there was a lot of things then, a lot of women under attack, a lot of poor women, black women, old women, poor women. It just that's a whole nother conversation. But just to answer your question in short, no, the black cat is not bad luck, not from the way I see it, and not from the way a conscious human being sees it. That is that's crap. That's some wise tale stuff. It's something outdated, something that never was true to begin with, and just some more fear tactic crap to just, keep people in control and under these certain mindsets. So that's my metaphysical black box question of the day and part of the night. Let me see. I'll get to the next. I'm not only going to do the one question. I was going to do another one, but this live has been long enough, you guys. So I thank everybody and anybody that's tapped in. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, please feel free to leave a comment. If keep it respectful, but and you don't have to be in agreement with me. This is a healing and learning space. But anyway, thank you to the Souljack, new Souljack community, those who rock and vibing with us, Conscious Outcast Gang Gang. Y'all stay tuned for my next live stream. I'll be on this week. I'm gonna go ahead and just take some days to rest a little bit, but I'll be back on Tarot Talk Thursday. Okay, so peace, love, and light, family. Ashe. I'm gonna close on a closing affirmation. You guys take that as it resonates. In peace. One moment. Here we go. Daily affirmations with Sister Arcola Souljack. Today, I reclaim my right to live my dream. I attract the right people committed to winning with me and standing in truth, justice, and love collectively. Today, I look back on my past with courage and accept now it's gone and new opportunities to broaden my horizon awaits me. Today, I put myself first and treat myself kindly, no longer concerned with pleasing others or getting their validation in order to evolve. To Souljack. Today, I accept the gifts on the table that God has prepared in the presence of my enemies, and it is done. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Daily affirmations with